According to Forbes magazine today, 49% of college graduates are underemployed during their first job after college, and 2/3 out of that is not utilizing their skills even 5 years after working their profession. I'm Mike Impulgada, and for the last 10 years of my life, I was a teacher in elite IB international schools. But what I'm really passionate about are the board games and the strategy games. And so I've decided that what I'm going to do is going to teach students how to play the game of life. And so I've decided to create the rules for that game. But it all started with me being a high school graduate, just like most of the students I would like to teach right now. Let me tell you a little story about that. This little guy right here is me in high school. As you can see, I had a little bit more hair on my head. And at the same time, I was very confused. I was confused because I was standing in front of a very, very important decision in my life, in the game of life. I had to choose the strategy for the game. I had to choose my college. That was super, super intense at that time because I had all these advisors trying to tell me what to do. My family had one opinion. My parents were telling me this. My mom, my dad was telling something else. My teachers and the counselors, they had their own strategy and theory about that. But I was also doing my own research. I was doing a research in internet, which back then was not as good as yours right now, so you have a little bit of advantage. But still, it didn't help me much back then. And today you have all these information, and I'm quite sure that sometimes it's overwhelming, all this stuff that you can find on the internet today. But I was also using other media, like TV, magazines, press. What finally brought my attention was the rankings. So I was thinking, here I was trying to win the game of life, and I had to choose the best strategy. So I was hoping to choose something that will give me the most gains, right? I wanted the best possible job. I wanted a lot of money after college. I wanted my status to go up, right? My social economic status to go up. So I chose the most demanding school that I could find in my country. And the one that everybody else wanted to go, because the ratio for one place was 1:8 or 1:7. Anyway, I went there and I got in. I was on the best way to win my game of life. I was so excited. I decided to become a civil engineer. What turns out 4 years later is that I was never meant to be a civil engineer. And I didn't have certain things that I need to have. Plus, I didn't do certain things that I had to do. Bottom line, I was never become a civil engineer. And here I am, 15 years later. I finally cracked the code. I learned what I did wrong, what didn't work for me, why it didn't work. I had to repeat the same mistake 3 times in my life to finally realize what is the pattern and what I'm missing over here. Now, I'm living in Malaysia in a big house surrounded by greenery and in the middle of the golf course. And the one mission that I have in my head is to equip all my students in the rule book for the game of life. Non-student of mine will follow my mistakes, and I will give them that with just one simple thing. What I decided to do is to create a knowledge hacker community. That's the way how you can win the game of life without making all the mistakes by yourself. The theory behind Knowledge Hacker program is very simple. Since the game of life is the game that comes without rules, we need to figure out how to play fast and how to win the game without that. So the best way to do it is to learn from the people who are already playing the game and winning. Not just winning a little bit, but winning hard. So if you want to learn how to extract the knowledge from best winners of the game of life and apply it in your own strategy and become a happy knowledge hacker, join our Facebook community today. and you will get 3 things just to jumpstart your game. You will get the answer for how to choose your college and what I did wrong, so you don't have to follow my mistakes. You will get the best hacks from Knowledge Hackers that were extracted from the heads of the best players like Tony Robbins, Jack Ma, and Steve Jobs. And you will also get an access to a podcast where you will learn much more about the game. Let's crack the code together and win the game of life today.